welcome back to the Gfinity Arena Week 2, and our first matchup was XL versus Epsilon, and what a cracker it was. Goals coming from Doomsy and Dan Hizzle on his debut, but just not enough to defeat XL in this match. So that was a win for XL, and looking at the rest of the schedule for today, there are some exciting matches on the way, particularly the next one today, Envyus taking on Epsilon. Then we'll have Endpoint versus Reason Gaming, then Prophecy versus Method. So, an exciting day. You do not want to miss any of those matches. So, right then, what we like to do in Season 2, next to my buddies. You right, boys? Yeah. Yes, thank you very much. You got enough pins there. You got 3 pins. Cheeky. Love it. Listen, we do a little A to Z of Rocket League jargon and all the terminology that you need to know, eh? Guys, eh? E? Oh, E. It's E, not A. You know what I mean.
Endpoint will be forever remembered as the inaugural champions of the Elite Series. Tinny, Chacaron and Cheerio were the underdogs throughout Season 1, but hard work and dedication from the trio paid off, and they were able to raise the trophy at the end of the season. Of course, E also stands for Envyus, XL and Epsilon, all franchises competing for the title.
Right then, despite a defeat for Epsilon on the first week, there were a lot of positives to take from it. We can find out what Flores thinks about it.
1 second left. And there we go, Epsilon.
My name is Russell Andrew, my in-game name is Flores, and I'm on Epsilon Esports. Playing on main stage today was very nerve-wracking, but it was also very exciting, and I'm really happy to get some experience in, as obviously I'm still 16.
Also, Insider tells me that we did have you down as 17, but you don't turn 17 until tomorrow!
Hopefully Flores will get that win for his birthday celebration next week.
Being part of the winning team last season, but not being able to play was quite tantalising, like you feel so close, but I just really wanted to play. I was coming along as a sub, obviously I would sit in the crowd, in the sidelines, just checking out what's going on, seeing if I can get any tips and tricks, kind of thing. Being part of Epsilon is a lot happier and there's a lot more motivation. Like, I really feel like I'm ready to put in some more hours with the team, and I'm really excited to improve our game. Atmosphere is certainly more professional and it's more of an improving mindset.
Capable of them, but he was one of the masters originally. Flores, what a read.
For my playstyle, I'm widely known as a 1v1 player originally, so I'm good with dribbles and all that. My personal goals for the season is just really getting the experience and becoming a really good threes player, because obviously I've come from 1v1, but I really want to get into the 3 scene. Luckily I've got 2 experienced players on the team to help me out with that, so hopefully I can bring some good mechanical skill to the team.
So there you have it. This is the man. He made his debut last week in Week 1 of Gfinity Elite Series Season 2. Flores, 17 years of age, 1 goal, 5 assists, 5 saves. As I said, lots of positives to take from their first week, even though they did get that loss. But a strong side, and we're expecting more from those boys. Stumpy, Johnny Boy, lovely to have you on this side of the arena. They are a strong side. You'd expect them to now kick on.
I'm really happy to see Flores getting assists because he's a very good 1v1 player, a great solo duelist, and of course solo duelists aren't really known for their goals, or rather their assists. They're only known for their goals because you're playing alone. You don't have to set anybody up except yourself. But he's getting the setups for his team last week. If that can continue, I think this team's got a lot of promise.
And they have got strength there as well. The Data and Flarky bromance is blossoming, isn't it? They planted the seed and we've been watering it all week. We expect it to, I don't know, maybe a couple of little green shoots to come from it this week.
I hope so. I hope it flowers into. I think it's going to start to bud this week. And
bud.
It's going to start to bud. Okay. It's going to be nice.
Do we need to prune it at any point, or is that maybe
leave that for later? Yeah, I think that's like semi-final stuff. We'll have to start pruning it when it gets a bit too much.
Are they like cress? Should we leave them in the dark for longer?
Yeah, leave them in the dark, just surrounded by cotton wool. Then they can't hurt themselves.
You guys know so much more about this than I do. I have no clue what's.
I actually cultivate cress in my spare time. That's my
hobby.
No
way. It is tasty.
Oh my god!
I've even got special cress scissors. I don't really. Listen, let's talk about these 2 boys. How good are they as a partnership duo, and how will Flores get into it being a very good 1v1 player? How does he fit in with a 3?
I think last week he really did show that he not only supported them, obviously we saw that he had the assist, but he also had 5 saves during that. So it was nice to see that he wasn't just like trying to make a name for himself. He wasn't just running out there going crazy, being an insane player the entire time. He was being a supportive role, as well as being a, okay, you know what, I'm going to get involved with the twos role. So it's nice to see him sort of do a bit of everything.
And they're taking on Envyus today. We know how good they can be. That sort of lineup, who's the person to focus on today for this week?
Well, we talked a lot about Waffle last season. He really stepped up. He came out of nowhere. He had a lot of great saves. But then he kind of fell off a little bit, and it's not just him. The whole Envy lineup, they had a disappointing finish to the season. We thought they were a lock-in for top 4, and they just slipped out to, I believe, 5th place. So they're looking for an improvement this season. Unfortunately, a bad start, though. And I think this is probably a much better chance for them this week to find that win, which has so far eluded them.
Yeah, definitely. Well, listen, gentlemen, I'll tell you what we can do. The players are itching to come out, have a little wave with everybody, chat to Lottie, and then get back so we can have the game action. So wherever you may be, join in with us because I'm about to welcome the Envyus, Mal, Freeze, and Waffle. And please welcome from Epsilon, Flores, Flarky, and Data.
Fellas, match 2 today. You're looking pretty confident. That walk was nice, strutting your stuff. So, talk to me. How are we feeling? Eyeing them up? Eyeing them up?
Feeling good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good? Just good?
We don't need anything better than this.
Doesn't need anything better, it's just good. Waffle, how are you feeling? Come on, you've got to give me something.
I'm feeling great. No warm-up means better game. So
you're just gonna wing it? Gonna wing it or rocket it?
Yeah, just the easy win.
There we go, there we go. And guys, they're feeling pretty confident. They're ready to get you. What were you saying to that?
We're feeling confident too. We've had a lot more preparation this time. So.
A lot more preparation, guys, just saying. And Data,
Yep.
got any fighting talk from you from these guys?
No.
No fighting talk, guys, but get a cup of tea, get a biscuit, because we've got a great game coming your way after this break.
Right then, there's a lot of energy in the Gfinity arena. Why, I hear you cry? Well, it's because it's matchup 2 and it's coming your way in just a moment. Envyus taking on Epsilon. Do you know what I'll do? I'll ask my very knowledgeable expert over there, Stumpy, who are you backing for this match?
It's got to be Epsilon. I mean, they had a rough week last week, so they played Excel. Very, very good team. However, I think against Envyus, these two are going to pull it out the bag. Mr. Flores over there, he's going to be going solo.
Oh, love it. And Flores, obviously, hopefully gets to celebrate last week's birthday celebrations with a win. So what are you saying, Johnny boy? What's going on your side?
I've got to go with Envy. I've got to go against my buddy Stumpy. It was a tough one, though. It wasn't easy to choose these guys, but I did play some ranked games with Data earlier this week, and he just was throwing all over the place. He's driving into me, stealing my boost. So if he's going to have any of that lingering into his game today, it's going to be a 3-0 for Envy.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Johnny boy. Right then, let's go and find our casters, a.k.a. commentators in different worlds. Gentlemen, still looking fresh, exciting. You get to cast now. You enjoy this, and this should be an enjoyable game.
This gets me excited, this game. I'm looking forward to this one. Both teams coming off the back of a loss last week, but both teams put in pretty solid performances. So I'm looking, both these teams, this is a really important game. They need to get some points on the board, and they need to do it now.
Yeah, someone's O has to go. Yeah,
Johnny boy claiming about Data in ranked. I played with Data and Flarky the other day. We went 14 games in a row without losing. I think it must be Johnny boy. It must be.
Are you suggesting that the people who hire Johnny boy need to think about maybe getting rid?
Not as a player. Like, let him talk. He knows everything. He knows everything.
Gentlemen, I'll leave you with this one. Envyus taking on Epsilon. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, Tom, and welcome, Gregan, back to the caster's desk. We're back again, and we've got an awesome match here. Envyus versus Epsilon, both off the back of a loss last week. What do these teams need to improve on for this week?
So I think Epsilon are quality team when they're looking to pass. Especially Data and Flarky, they like to look for each other. But I think Flores really needs to take a lot of pressure out of the game by being a solo player. So yeah, you see there, Flores, he's a solo player. He's done a lot of 1v1s. That's how he made himself known in the competitive scene. So if he can dribble that ball upfield, take two or three players out of the game, then it opens up space for Data and Flarky as we go into the game. Envyus versus Epsilon, match 2 of the day.
Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. It is game number 2 of the day, and it is, of course, the boys in blue playing in blue this week, and Epsilon are going to be in the orange. Early shot going to come in here from Waffle. Mount Going to put that one back off the backboard as well. Early pressure coming in here from Envyus, Greg, and that's exactly what I want to see from them. They played a little bit slow last week. This week looks like they're trying to come out the gates a bit hotter.
Oh, that is a tough decision there by Flores, cutting back in to try and go for the challenge. Didn't have much speed, and that's the worrying thing for Flores, because he's used to 1v1 situations. He's used to just reading one player, whereas he's got to be aware that there's some people moving around the pitch going super fast.
Flarky going to have an opportunity for a strike here, just actually sends that one high. And look at this, who's coming in? It's Data. Data gets the first goal on the board here for Epsilon Esports, and a beautiful play from them. The ball popped onto the backboard, and look at this, Data floats like a butterfly, stings like a bee.
Yeah, they were doing that. When we were playing together, that was what they did. They just hit it to that backboard nice and high, and Data has got an incredible read. So has Flarky. He's using the Venom. He's found it really effective recently, and he finds it's useful, especially for those backboard touches, so expect to see them hitting it high.
Strong start from Epsilon. Now going to pick the ball up in midfield here. He's going to have an opportunity to push this one past, tries to fake out that player, but Data does manage to quell the pressure momentarily here for Epsilon. Pressure still on from Envy though. We see Waffle coming in aggressively as well, and I like what I see what this young man is adding to his game. A huge shake coming in from Data though. Gets that one out towards the corner. Ball going to be clear here. Oh no, unfortunately Mal cannot connect with that ball as it fell free inside that Epsilon area. Frizz comes in here, and Frizz is going to get an open shot on goal, and Frizz is going to tie the game up.
Yeah, so Flarky had no boost, went up to the midfield boost to collect it, and that is not what you want to do. Flores and Data, you're the last two back. Do not touch cars, because you're obviously going to ruin each other's momentum. You're not going to be able to get to that ball, and it opens up a shot, and Envyus pouts on that opportunity and level the game.
Yeah, we talk about those two having a bromance, but that's not where you want to have it, not on the pitch. Wait until you're outside of the game. Waffle here. Two players from Envy committing to this one. Flores is going to push this one forward now, trying to follow up, trying to look for that second touch, but he's not going to be able to connect there. Waffle doing what he does best, and that is putting up that wall in front of that Envious goal. 50 here in the midfield. Frizz pushing this one forward, trying to land that ball on the backboard. We're going to drop back down into the midfield now. Two players once again from Envy committing to that one. It's going to be Frizz who takes it towards the Epsilon side of the map. Ball popped up here. Flarky going to have some work to do. Waffle.
Oh, that's a good touch.
Frizz here. Going to put this one towards the corner, but now it's going to be Epsilon who are putting on the pressure once again, but Mal should get a clearance here. Does momentarily. The shot does come in though, and it's going to be missed. Unfortunately, got that player on the line, but Data, as you say, with a beautiful strike. And he's going to put Epsilon up by one.
Going for accuracy here over power, just pops into it, tests Mal out on the line. Just inches away there as it sneaks in below the crossbar, but it's those kind of shots that even if they don't go in and they get saved, because there's only one way they can save it, it puts you in a power position because you have full control over the play in the coming moments.
We're going to be dropping here. Might be another opportunity for Data, but Data going to get another opportunity here. Pushes this one back in towards the middle, but looks like Epsilon decided to give up on that attack, rotate back. It's going to be Flores who's going to get the touch on the ball. In the midfield here, but you can see the pressure once again. The ball being won high up the pitch here by these Epsilon players. It's going to be Flores trying to get a touch on that one, but teammate is going to send this one out wide. Mal's going to have the shot. Waffle going to win that one in the midfield now. It seems to be once again Greg, and whoever's winning these midfield 50-50s and these battles that are going down seems to be creating the opportunities at the moment. It seems like Epsilon will win the majority.
Yeah, and because the pace of the game is a little bit slower, these players are relying on those 50-50s, as you said, to take players out the game and then clean up afterwards. They're also looking to follow through for the boost staves. Once the pace increases as the games go on, I expect to see them having to retreat a little bit quicker and be a bit more consistent with their touches.
Yeah, this is quite a methodical game we're seeing from both teams at the moment. You can almost see the stage-by-stage process that they're going for when they're setting up their attacks and when they're back on defense as well. Flores is going to have a shot here. It's going to be a little bit high. Data trying to follow it up. Cannot get the connection though. Frizz. You can see Waffle breaking away with this one. Does manage to get past one player, but Flark is going to be up for this one. Ooh, but Frizz is back on that rotation. Sniffs out the danger.
It's dropping straight down.
And once again, Waffle now going to get the long clear.
So you see just those final moments, Envyus are going to push a little bit more aggressively, try and force a goal, as they are one goal down with a minute to go. And this is the time when things change up a bit. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Epsilon score another goal just from that overcommitment.
Flores is going to be pushing this one forward. Envyus, as we approach the last minute of the game, of course, down by one goal. Waffle here. Going to be pressure actually coming in from Epsilon. Mount's got some work to do in this corner here. It's going to be a challenge coming in from Flark, but Mount does a good job.
Oh, bumping
Little bump
each other.
coming in. That could upset the ribbon of these two players, but the ball's going to be breaking free in midfield. Flarky with the shot here towards that far post, but this is all pressure here from Epsilon as we enter the last 30 seconds. Perfect for them, but Envyus needs to get the ball up the under end of the pitch.
Yeah, they're keeping them quiet for now, not letting them have any easy opportunities. This could be their final chance, because after a big clear from Epsilon, it will all dissolve. They just got every bit covered there. Data on the backboard, Florus in net, nowhere to shoot it.
Florus is going to get a long clear once again. A little redirect coming in, but with just 9 seconds left on the clock. Envy do have some pressure on here. Data does get the ball clear. Going to be popped down here. Waffle does manage to keep the ball alive, but it's going to be sent down into the ground. It's going to be Epsilon who take game number 1, Gregan.
Well played, Epsilon. Just at the end, they're playing very smart, not trying to do anything fancy, but I think it was their boost control that took the game for them. Noticed a lot there at the end. In particular, Envious players were just rushing around looking for boost, but it wasn't available, and that's wasted time for them. So game 1, going to Epsilon there, making their statement because they are a new roster. Data, Flarky, finally forming together, Florus from Endpoint. And so doing very well there.
Yeah, Data with 2 goals in that game as well for the Epsilon lineup. And it's interesting to see, we always talk about how week on week, these new teams, week 1's kind of like that feeling out period, isn't it? Where you're trying to get used to your teammates, trying to get used to exactly how they play. But the amount of improvement we see from 1 week to the second, it's remarkable, to be honest with you. We saw it from Infused in that last series, and now we're seeing it from these two teams.
Yeah, and then Epsilon, I think, had a very strong week 1, considering they're up against XL. To quote Doomsy, taking a game off of XL is an incredible feat.
It's a win in itself, isn't it?
Exactly, and Epsilon did that last week as a new roster. So they're starting to form a really solid team. Data and Flarky have wanted to play together for ages now. They wanted to do it season 1, didn't quite find the same roster. Bringing in Florus, that strong solo player, to cover all other bases, and I think they're going to work as a unit.
Yeah, a close first game, though, we have to say. Early on, I enjoyed what I was seeing from Envyus. They seem to be the ones taking the attack to Epsilon, which is something we haven't seen from them too much in the Elite Series so far. They've been quite a passive team, sort of waiting for those breakaway goals. That's something they're going to need to add to their game if they want to progress a little bit, I think. They can't just rely on that counter-attacking play.
Yeah, one thing I noticed with Envyus as well is they're trying to go for these obscure touches, which a lot of the time you haven't got a full understanding of what it's going to do. So perhaps having a little bit more understanding of where your teammates are, trying to come onto the ball from the back, you might be able to clean up the way in which you're playing. But as we go into game 2 of our second match of the day, will Envyus get game 2?
Ball going to be in the Epsilon half to start with. It's going to be Mount here, pushes this one back out wide here for Envy. Do need to see Envy step up a little bit in this game, I feel. This is a big game for them as far as the series is concerned. I think they need to throw a little bit more caution to the wind, to be honest with you. See if they can create some opportunities, take the fight to Epsilon. But it's going to be Epsilon who are on the attack here. Waffle doing what he does best once again. Going to be back on that rotation, does get the block. Data winning the ball high up the field here for Epsilon. And that's where they've been winning a lot of these balls, and that's where the pressure has been created for them.
Indeed. And you'll just notice at the start here, Envy have already managed to find themselves on the back foot, low on boost. Data stealing a boost. Flarky even rotated out via that boost, even though it was taken. And that's the rotational method that we're seeing from this Epsilon team, knowing that Florus is staying that little bit deeper, they can spend a little bit more time upfield.
A long clear upfield here, and this could be a goal as well. It's going to be Florus who gets the first one on the board in game number 2. Epsilon take the lead. And you can see there just...
Do you know what that was?
Players not in the right positions, Gregan.
It was. Players not in the right position. Frizz cheated up to the midfield to that mid boost because he couldn't find any at the back. And at that point, the long shot was on. Florus took it straight away. That is just such brilliant first minute play by Epsilon, grinding down this Envious roster and seeking that opportunity when it arose.
Yeah, consistent pressure just causing an unfortunate situation for Team Envyus. Epsilon take advantage, and they go up 1-0. Already one up in the series as well. Now Envyus find themselves on the back foot. Epsilon once again with the pressure, and it just seems like they are almost camped in their own half at the moment. It's just consistent pressure coming in from Epsilon. Ball going to be popped off that backboard here. And all that we can see at the moment from Envyus is just sat in their own half, but a long shot does come in here from Waffle. Actually trying to find his teammate there. Slightly misread that one myself, trying to get a touch on that one, but Data's going to get this one clear now for Epsilon. As Waffle tries to recycle this one, finds a nice pass to Mount here. Mount might have an opportunity. He can push this one back into the center. Does actually find a teammate. It's going to be Waffle, but a huge block coming in from Florus.
Oh, that demo could open up a slot, but it was a beautiful clear from Flarky, gaining some distance. And yes, I think we're noticing it now. The difference between these two teams is just the clinicalness of the touches. Epsilon, every touch they're making has intention. Except for that one, maybe.
Hey, Custer's curse. Whatever you want to see, don't tell us to say it, because that's exactly what happened. Mount puts one back. It's going to be Waffle with the shot. Didn't quite get enough power on that. Data does make the save. But that's the first time we've really seen a sort of a flowing passing play coming out of Team Envyus. Normally it just seems like, as I said previously, in between the games, they're trying to catch the team on the break, but...
Oh, double miss.
Rocket League, one of those games, Bregan, where you cannot just afford to soak up pressure, because you're gonna lose those boosts and you're gonna find yourselves in compromised positions.
Yeah, we call it a reactive play style. You're waiting for them to make the mistake, and at that point, you react and score. And we're seeing a little bit of that from Envyus. They are trying to form those passes. But if you put all of the power in your opposition hand, especially now with the mechanical skill these players are able to produce, they will eventually find a way to score. You need to create that pressure yourself by taking that ball into your control and making an opportunity. Waffle coming in, sends it into the bottom right corner. Data's not there.
Data is not at home, and it's Waffle coming off that sidewall.
Florus.
Beautiful shot as well. Florus
tripped up.
Nowhere to be found.
He just had a little trip on the near post. We called that the bronze mistake back in the day, because it's a thing you only ever saw at bronze rank. But Florus is definitely not bronze.
I mean, you're calling him out, Greg. I mean, I'm not just, you know, your words, not mine. Bronze Florus does win the ball now. Pushes it back upfield for Epsilon, but finally Envyus do get something on the board. Demo comes in as well. It's going to be a player out of the game momentarily here for Epsilon. Data pops that one down. Waffle going to be across. Waffle sending this one back upfield as well, but Mount going to be pretty low on boost, but he's going to pick up this midfield boost now. Frizz going to be across here to try and challenge Florus, who's going to go for the boost instead. It's going to be Frizz with a shot, but Data makes the save. Waffle's going to be back here. Doesn't get a touch. Pushes it back upfield as well, and this is much better from Envyus.
Oh, what a demo!
Up the field, as you say, the demo in the background there just allowed Mount to have a free strike on goal, but that all came, in my opinion, from Waffle and the boys just putting pressure on this Epsilon lineup halfway up the pitch.
Yeah, just Mount recognizing Data on the retreat, intercepts him on his return to net, takes him out, gives himself a free opportunity. But yes, it was, we keep talking about the pressure build-up. In Rocket League now, you cannot get away with those easy opportunities. They're very rare because they rely on mistakes. Now you have to gradually grind down the players. And as we mentioned, boost starving, and now we're seeing demos. They're coming into the game, they're really throwing off the rotation and the rhythm of the teams and giving those opportunities to put dangerous shots in that put them on the back foot.
Gonna be Team Envyus who take the lead for the first time in the series now. Flarky. Gonna be in a little bit of no man's land here. A shot.
Oh, these one Waffle.
Oh, Frizz tried to convert it, but just couldn't quite get the touch he was looking for. Flarky gonna get the clearance here. Waffle here. Gonna try and put the pressure on high up the pitch, and that's what I'm liking, and especially Waffle. We talked about him being quite a passive player in the first series that we saw from him in the Elite Series, and some of the games he had last
free shot
season as well. It's going to be Waffle now, who's going to be on the breakaway, and look at this, Waffle adding goals to his game. The wall of Waffle turning into the goal-scoring machine here for Team Envyus, and they're up by 2.
I completely understand that from Epsilon. Final 30 seconds.
Gotta commit.
Trying to boost starve their opposition to give themselves a free shot on a weakened defense, but it doesn't work out for them. They end up being counter-attacked, but at this point, 3-1 is no different to a 2-1 loss. But that is going to be strong for Envyus. They're playing completely differently to how they did in the first game. Yeah. A lot more team synergy, looking for passes, looking for goals, getting goals. Mount gets his, I think this is his second of the game. Yes, that's his second goal of the game, putting them 4-1 up.
Yeah, 4-1 up, and I mean, all sorts of confidence boosts going to be coming in for Team Envyus after this. You can almost see the first time they got into the lead in this game, it was like we've got it, boys. This is how we need to play. 4-1 now. Obviously, Epsilon going to be likely to see some goals chasing the game in these last few seconds. Ball going to be hit towards the ground now. If this touches down, it's going to be the series tied up. Ball strikes the ground. It's going to be Team Envyus who win game number 2 of the series. We're now tied up at 1-1, Greg.
We are indeed, and that's a strong performance there from every one of the Envyus players. I don't think any of them particularly stood out. None of them stood out as a dead weight. The scoreboard implies that Frizz didn't do too much, but as we know, scoreboards don't mean anything because a demo, boost starve, all of those things don't come up on that scoreboard. So Envyus as a unit grinding down Epsilon, and Epsilon, they're a little bit of a slower paced team. So if you take one player out of the rotation, gaps open up, and that's why we saw so many counterattacks.
Yeah, I think as soon as we saw Envy start taking the game to Epsilon, it just seemed like a different Envy lineup. It seemed like Epsilon had no answer to the aggression. And to be honest with you, I'm looking forward to the next match. I want to see how Epsilon react to that change in playstyle coming in from Envyus. Will they match it with aggression, or will they just try and catch them on the counterattack, much like Envyus were in those first few games?
And for sure, I mean, I want to also bring attention to the fact Epsilon's goals were mistakes. So Flores let one in from tripping on the post. A few overcommits towards the end because they thought they needed to get a goal quickly. So it was a very close game. The scoreline doesn't show a fair representation of how close that was. Game 1, equally, it was close. So I think going into Game 3, we might start seeing overtime for Game 3, 4, and hopefully 5.
Oh, big call. Big call coming in from Greg, and he wants to see Game 5s and overtime as well. And to be honest with you, I cannot disagree with you. I like seeing as much Rocket League as possible, but these two teams are definitely putting on a show for us now. I mean, how do Epsilon react? How do you think they're going to react to that loss in that last game?
I think they're going to try and pass a bit more. I know that's Data's favorite thing to do when he's down. If you're passing, you're looking for your teammates and you're looking to score and keep yourself threatening.
Oh, a shot comes in.
Just going wide over the goal line. And I think for Flores, if he starts taking players out of the game with some solo plays, some dribbles, some long clears, then we might see space opened up for the Daty Flarka combination.
Flarka, that's what the Brangelina of Rocket League is what you've just coined them. Mount going to challenge that ball high up the pitch here. It's going to be Waffle here. There's going to be an open. Oh no, Data is back. That was a huge interception coming.
Oh, he's just passed it to Mount.
Mount with a shot, and it's going to hit the bottom. Does it cross the line? It does. Mount gets one on the board for Team Envyus. These boys are rolling right now, Gregan.
Flarky just played the game of see ball, hit ball, and hit it straight into the middle. Flores did not expect the back pass in such a tight situation like that. All they needed was a big, strong clear, but Flarky gives the pass away straight to Mount, who sneaks it in, crossbar down, as it slowly dissolves on the goal line.
Now, this is an interesting situation here. Envyus in the lead.
Oh,
Flores, you nasty boy! Tying in game up at 1-1. Look at this aerial.
Oh, and a swish as well.
Beautiful stuff.
Flores.
From Flores, the 1v1 player. We're talking about looking out for individual plays from him. He ties the game up. The question I was going to ask you, how do Envyus play now they're in the lead? Are they going to go back to their old play style? Flores didn't give him a chance.
No, Flores wants this game. He's a very competitive guy. We saw earlier on, he's loving the fact he's on stage now, the opportunity to play. He watched Endpoint win last season, and it got a fire inside him, and now we're seeing that fire burning in the face of Envy.
Series really starting to warm up now at the Gfinity Arena, tied up 1-1 in the game.
Oh, here we go. Oh.
Demo comes in. Mount, that was a huge demo from him. Buying himself a little bit of time. Flores keeping the pressure on here. For Epsilon, however, it's going to be Flark who comes through. That's a miss. Flark has an opportunity here.
Oh,
and he can't convert. Flores just couldn't quite read that one in time.
No way.
Something happened. Data cannot convert that one either, but Epsilon with all sorts of solo plays coming in. They're turning on the style points right now. They're trying to take the game back to Envyus.
They're air dribbling like beasts right now. Data just coming off the backboard and dribbling it in a 180-degree turn. I don't know how he managed to do that. It was saved on the goal line, but we're just seeing Epsilon being that little bit more aggressive, really attacking the net.
These two teams, after what can only be described, there's an opportunity here. Flarky's going to tie the game up. He's going to put Epsilon in the lead. They're up 2-1 now. Mistake coming in from Team Envyus. The double commit in the corner, bumping each other off, leaving Flarky with an open net, and he's not going to turn down that opportunity.
I just want to look at that Waffle Frizz situation in the corner there, because Waffle was very static trying to get a big clear on the wall, where Frizz was coming from net with speed. In that situation, Waffle just needs to clear out the way and let Frizz do the work, because he's going to get so much more power on that touch, have a lot more control and a lot more momentum with it.
Now we're going to see Envyus once again having to attack a long clear outfield, and Waffle going to be back though to clean up any mess for Team Envyus. 3 players forward here. Flarky's going to have some work to do. There's going to be an opportunity. Waffle does get the shot on goal, but it's going to be Waffle who ties the game up at 2-2. Envy storm back into this one.
Goals. Everyone is scoring right now. Actually, Flarky did a blooming good job there getting back. He looked like he had no boost. Matt had to dodge into the net and dodge back out, because that's the only way he could change his speed that quickly. But unfortunately, it was not enough. Data had to try and clear it, and it was intercepted by Envyus, and they now level the scoreline. We're about halfway through this game, and already 4 goals on the board. This is going to be a waterfall of a game.
Demo comes in. Frizz is going to have an open net here, and Frizz is going to score. Put Envy into the lead, 3-2. Watching the background here, Greg, and the Demo so vital, leaving Frizz with that open net. We talked about how demos are becoming more and more vital to games.
Yeah.
Perfect example there.
Yeah, we've seen more and more demos each game, and that's because in the current meta, demos are more popular because they're easier to initiate. They're just that little bit more feasibility to keep demoing your position, knowing that it's going to be more effective. Basically, if you hit another car when you're going fast, it will almost definitely blow up. And as you mentioned earlier on, D stands for demo, can be used in offense and defense, and we're seeing that very clinically used here.
Frizz going to be up for this one. Ball now in the midfield, breaking down. Waffle going to push this one
straight down.
It's gone straight down. Waffle looking for the dunk off the backboard. It's going to be Frizz who's up as well.
What a shot.
With a shot on goal, but it's going to be Flark who makes that save. Look at the pressure now coming in from Team Envyus though. Shot on goal, it's going to be another one here for Team Envyus. It's going to be Frizz with another goal here for Team Envyus. They're up by 2.
Just watch Data looking for boost as he goes away from the goal line. Florus looking for the block. There was one angle that would work there, and Frizz found it to the far post. Empty net, putting Envyus 2 goals up. This is huge at this stage of the game.
And they just look like a different team when they're taking the attack to Epsilon. Yeah, they might have I was going to say almost a kickoff goal there for Frizz. They might leave themselves slightly open at the back occasionally, but they know that Waffle's first thought is always going to be back to be on that rotation. So I feel like players like Frizz and Mount are going to be the ones who have to take the attack to this Epsilon lineup. And when they are, they're dominating Epsilon. So if they can keep this up, Envy looking good in the series at the moment. Epsilon, of course, need to answer back, though. Get some of the... Oh, what a shot with a shot, but Mount with the save this time for Envy. And now it's going to be Florus who finds the pass to Flark. Mount going to cut that one out, but if these players from Envy don't make a good touch on this, it's going to create an opportunity. Florus, boost towards the corner here. Flarky going to push this one back, and look at this man, it's Data. Can't quite judge that one right.
It's a double commit as well, which
now
takes all the pressure.
The shot though. Oh, Flarky brings it back to within 1 as we enter the last minute of the game. Flarky, what a strike here coming in from this man.
Threads the needle, so much power. That's 100 km/h plus.
Oh,
that's so good, just sending it in the gap there. This is why he loves this card. Not many people use the Venom. In fact, you barely ever see it in competitive Rocket League. He's been playing with it through the week and just finds he gets such clean strikes both in the air and powerful shots. He's got a slightly longer hitbox, but it's not quite as flat as cars like the Batmobile and Dominus. He thinks it's the perfect combination, and it's really showing from here today.
Epsilon Esports just within 1 goal now of Team Envy, who were up 4-2, of course. Envy going to be on the defensive as well. Look at this. Florus is going to be up here. Pops this one towards goal. It's going to be, an opportunity.
Oh, there we go.
Big chance. Florus is going to tie the game up. Last 30 seconds of the game. 4-4 now, an 8-goal thriller so far. And it's that man, Florus. Data causing a kerfuffle on the line. Florus just tidies up.
Using that backboard so effectively, causing double jumps in net, and it opens up the free shot for Florus. As you said, 8 goals we've seen. The scores are level. If we go into overtime with the score being 4-4, that would be crazy. It would show how close these 2 teams are despite scoring such a huge amount of goals.
These 2 teams putting on a show here, and Florus once again going for that air dribble, looking for that solo play, but look who's following up. It's Flarky,
the bow.
Mount manages to get a vital save there for Team Envyus. Epsilon looking to win this game towards the
mistake.
Flarky doesn't get the shot he needed. That was a huge opportunity here. Ball is still up, but no, Gregan, you get your wish. We're going overtime, baby.
Overtime, 4-4. Who's going to be the one taking it? Epsilon currently with the momentum with those 2 goals previous in the last minute of the regulation time, but who is going to take it in overtime? The reset has occurred. I have a feeling a bump or demo is going to be a big part of this goal.
Flarky going to be trying to create the first opportunity in overtime here for Epsilon. Data looking for the pass across. It's going to be Florus who's up. Pushes this one towards the corner. Waffles can potentially get a breakaway here. Flarky though, and Data managed to just about get back by the skin of their teeth. Mount looking for the pass across here. What a shot! Waffle wins the game for Envyus in overtime.
Waffle comes flying in and ricochets that down to the bottom left side. Unexpected by Florus. Just the slightest change in angle. Make sure it goes in. Make sure Florus can't get there for the clear. And Envyus take game 3 with the 9th goal of the game in overtime.
What a touch play, we'll call it there from Waffle. What a finish, just to get enough on that one to send it towards that far corner. What a game we just saw there. And it's going to be Envyus who close out the game.
And do you know what? Epsilon, I think, had the upper hand that game. If we look at the shots, they had 15, 5 each. Each player had 5. Not often you see that for a start. But then their opposition, I think they had 4, 3, and 2, 9. So almost double. I mean, like another half on top. That's just a huge amount more of shots. And it just shows how many more opportunities they had. But it was Envyus who were just a little bit more efficient with their shooting.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, there was a couple of solo plays from the guys on Epsilon Esports as well, but Waffle seems to be getting on the score and scoring important goals at important times in the game. Frizz obviously on the scoreboard again. And as you say, Envy a little bit more clinical. We can see here, a lot of the opportunities we're seeing, they're finding the back of the net. And I mean, what a time to be clinical from Waffle. Overtime.
Exactly.
Game tied up as 4 to 4 to 5 all. God, so many numbers. They're always the same, aren't
words.
they? But that finish there from Waffle, what a way to win the game for Envyus. He's got to be feeling good right now.
Oh, he must be. I mean, we were saying about the fact he's getting on the offensive side. Now, I don't think either of these teams really have a particular player who's going to score more than the others. So we look at the XL team. We talk about Niels and Pone scoring a lot of goals.
Yeah.
And they're starting to balance out. The same with Method. Magnus used to be the goal scorer. They're all balancing out. And that seems to be the key now in Rocket League. If every player in your team can score, you're more likely to win.
Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. Potential for Team Envyus to close out the series 3-1, or will Epsilon push it to a game 5? That's exactly what I'm expecting to see as we get underway in game number 4. We're on board with Flag to start this one off. It's going to be Epsilon who are on the attack, but Mount is going to be back. Gets the clear. Data there. One towards. I was going to say.
Oh, no, he's not. I thought he would be coming in. They like that aggressive, hard touch across field, intercepted on the far side. Wasn't quite the case there, though.
Yeah, such a difficult position to defend from as well. Looking, essentially have a player coming from your blind spot. Data here, going to be on the attack for Epsilon, though. Touches this one towards goal. It must be a goal, and it's going to be Florus on the follow-up off the backboard. Uses the roof of his car just to push that one back in, and it's Epsilon who take the lead in game number 4.
Delicate Data, just pushing it into the middle there, off the crossbar. Doesn't need anything too hard. Knows his teammate Florus is coming in to nail that one home. Also, you notice Frizz had to return to net with not much boost. You never want to be doing that as a player. Collect it upfield at some point, but that is the pressure that Epsilon put on in that early stage there again. Will it continue like the last game? Will we see many goals, or is this going to be a low-scoring one? Who knows? We'll find out.
Flores here, looking to follow up his own touch here. Mal gets a big clearance upfield though. Loads of power on that. Clark cuts it out though, looks to follow up his own clearance as well. It's going to be a ball clear from Data, push back into the midfield. It's going to be Data who's going to push this one back across. No players following that one up though for Epsilon.
Boost starts.
Collects that midfield boost in the background. As we saw, Flarky pushes this one back across. Data just mistimed that approach to the ball ever so slightly. Flores, nice pass back here to his teammate. Like what I'm seeing here from Flores, just trying to keep possession, but it's Envyus who actually steal this one away now.
Flarky's going to get there first. Tries touching it into the middle. And you just see there, Flores pulling out. He knows his two teammates have synergy. He knows where he sits amongst the team. Goes back to that third player role. Comes in at the right moments like that. Retreats as fast as he can. Allows his two teammates to push up.
Data going to be under pressure here from 2 Envyus players. Frizz back on the rotation. Flarky push this one forward.
Back post from Frizz. I like that.
Mr. Back post himself. Always likes when he sees it. You always know. Frizz.
What a pass.
Sends this one across to Waffle again. They're trying to combine for the second time, but it's going to be Mount. He finishes it off. Game tied up at 1-1. What would we expect from these two teams? Mount gets on the scoreboard.
Just watch there. Frizz straight to Waffle. Flarky goes, he's not going to score that. It's obviously just going to fly through. But no, smart there from Waffle. Puts it off the backboard. Allows his teammate Mount to come in for the full 3-man shooting affair.
Kick-off contested here once again by these two teams. It'll be Waffle. Sends the ball into that Epsilon half of the pitch.
That's an awkward touch.
Oh my word. Great job from Flores there to get the block on that one. That was a difficult situation. Data now with all sorts of confidence trying to dribble this one out. Frizz is going to put the pressure on Flores, gets the long clear, so that's going to give a little bit of breathing space to the guys on Epsilon momentarily. Mount going to be up here. Flarky pushes this one forward. Mount with the clearance. Flarky brings this one down. He's going to find Data here on the sidewall, gets a touch on that one, takes Mount out of the game, but Mount's going to be stealing some boosts here, which could create an opportunity.
Flores just not sure where his teammates were there. You saw him sending it across field, obviously looking for the pass, but just a little bit off where he thought Flarky was, but it has created pressure. Envy all scrambling on the goal line. Even mispassed passes can cause pressure. Top tip for everyone, just pass it even if you don't know who you're passing it to. Pass, pass, pass.
Mount going to put this one back. Oh, Waffle. I don't want a little bit wrong. Let me back here. Frog looking for that pass out again, and both these teams just looking to the amount that we're seeing them trying to put their passing plays together from their first game. Again, just progression through the series, starting to get comfortable, and it really is showing. Data brings this one down again.
Oh, the fake on the goal line, that's confidence.
Data, confidence. Again, I think it's the third or fourth time we've seen that already from him. He's got to be careful though, because Envy are going to start getting wise to that one.
Yeah, well, if they can take this game, then they switch it up next one.
Chance!
Oh, that should have been in. I think Mount had the opportunity there, didn't quite secure it. But it is still 1-1 going into the final minutes here. What a shot!
Mount with a save! What a save from Mount. Manages to just about get up and touch that one away. Data going to be following this one up here for Epsilon. Epsilon trying to win this one as we go into the final minute of the game. Another shot comes in, hits the crossbar. Frizz is going to have some time to clear this away. The pressure from Epsilon not turning into a goal, however, and it's going to be Epsilon who now get the clearance upfield. Mount with a shot on goal. Not sure if there's anyone there. Yes, there is. Flores is back on that rotation just to keep this tied up as we're approaching the last 30 seconds of the game. Is one of these teams going to try and win the game? Or are we going to see another overtime for the second game in a row?
Oh, what a dunk! No, we're not! Frizz! Coming from the blind spot there, just dives in front of the clearing player who thought he was completely free. But no, Frizz, there he is. You do not expect to see a player coming in like that. Even if that didn't go in, it was a huge opportunity to score, but Frizz gets himself the goal with 30 seconds left.
We talk about the wall of Wobble, but it was Frizz putting up a fence in front of those two players there, and it's going to be another opportunity here, but not being able to convert Epsilon from one into the other, putting so much pressure on in those last 20 or 30 seconds. Now they find themselves down by 1 goal. 10 seconds left on the game. Can Epsilon score? They need to, otherwise Team Envyus are going to take the series. 5 seconds left on the clock.
They're all scrambling.
The ball in the wrong half of the pitch here. It's going to have to be perfect Rocket League. Mount sends this one forward. Can Flores keep it up just about momentarily? But it's Team Envyus who are going to get their first win on the board here in Season 2 of the Elite Series.
Envyus take down the strong Epsilon, the new roster going up against the solid same roster from Season 1 of Envyus. And it is the solid team that sticks together who comes out victorious.
Big, big win for Team Envyus, but such a close series, Greg, and these two teams. That was a slobber knocker.
It was, and it was constantly changing. Every single game was different, and we love that in competitive Rocket League. These teams adapting, wanting to put on the best performance they can, but it was Envyus who just scraped it in those final moments.
If you had to put one, your key to victory here for Envyus, what was it? What set them apart in that series from Epsilon?
I think Envyus were just one game ahead on the aggressive approach. They came in that little bit earlier and said, we're going to start demoing, we're going to start looking for those dunks, and because of it, they spread out a lot more, and Envyus took the win.
Yeah, huge games, especially from Mount and Waffle, but Frizz in that final game seemed to step up for his team when they needed it.
Also, Mount, that save, I think this is this one.
Oh, how did he, like...
He was driving away from the ball.
Broke physics. Like, that was ridiculous to see that ball, to get that all-important touch when the game was tied up as well.
That could have been.
And look at these guys.
Winner.
Look how much it means to them winning that series.
Yeah, and I know these guys are going to be practicing together in a house this week, so they're going to come back even stronger next week. So Envy, watch out for them.
That's a huge thing. That is a massive, massive win for Team Envyus. I mean, you've got to feel for Epsilon a little bit, though. Epsilon, that was, as I say, it was a slobber knocker. It was back and forth, but they just couldn't get the advantage when they needed to. What have they got to do?
They performed well both weeks, and they've looked like they could win it.
But no wins.
They just need to get rid of those silly mistakes where they double commit or find themselves in awkward positions. And if they get rid of those, then they'll start scoring more goals, as we saw they could do, and they'll start saving those opportunities which shouldn't be going in, those counter plays. Get rid of those, and I think you'll start winning more games.
Well, who are you looking from on that Epsilon lineup to maybe step up into that leadership role and maybe implement a few of these things?
It's hard.
Is there any player in particular that you can see on that lineup that you think?
Flarky should be scoring more goals because he has historically been a very good goal scorer. Data just needs to set up more. He's always been a good setup man. And Flores needs to hold it stronger at the back. And if those three just bump up their main areas and start adapting to the other things that they can do. So Flores showed up he can score, but he also needs to work on all facets. It's basically, I'm saying they just need to get better.
Get better. Well, what we're going to do right now is we're going to go over to Lottie because she's with the victorious Team Envyus.
Thank you, Onset. Guys, win in the bag. Week 2, Mout. You must be chilled. You must be chilled. You must be chuffed.
We're on the board. We finally made it. We always lose the first game just to get a wake-up call, and then we're on the board.
Awesome. So, Frizz, was it your intention to be quite physical? A lot of demos, a lot of bumps. What was the playstyle like going into that?
After this update, the demos work even better than they did before. So going for the bump is just more efficient than trying to set a pass play or stuff like that. So yeah, that was why we were really physical.
And Waffle, game 3, one of the best games we've seen. It was awesome. Talk me through that one.
It was just back and forth, really. We did a couple of mistakes, overcommits, which led to them making goals. But yeah, we just kept pressing forward and just bumping them, so we could win.
We want to see more of that next week. Thank you so much, gents. Back over to you, Tom.
Thank you very much. Mout, we're on the board. We're on the board. Serious stuff from them, and they will be feeling very good after getting that first win of the Elite Series Season 2. All-round play was very good, very aggressive, but what a game that was. Game 3, that 5-4, hey?
It was... I think every single goal had something essentially down to being aggressive, whether it was to do with just getting in your opponent's face and just really making sure that dunks came through, or whether it was demos, because in the recent patch, the demos have been much easier to sort of pull off. You can sort of drive past someone and they'll get demoed. So I think everyone's trying to use that to their advantage, and man, Envy did. Envy really, really did pull it out of the bag with Game 3.
And you see there, Johnny Boy, Flarky and Data finally sort of linking up there.
Yeah.
As Gregan said, Data needs to set up more and then Flarky needs to score more goals. That bromance is having a bit of a lover's tiff at the moment. It's not quite working.
Yeah, this is really bad news for Epsilon. This is the sort of team that they're probably going to have a similar sort of score at the end of the series if things go as we expect. We're expecting these guys to be middle of the pack, you know, Excel and Method up top. So these guys should be battling for that playoff spot, and to drop a series to your rivals, that's going to hurt a lot. Not maybe, it already hurts right now, it's going to hurt later as the series draws to a close.
And we do love a goal match thriller like that, 5-4. Are all the games going to potentially be like that for the rest of the day? Looking forward to the next matches?
I think we're going to have a couple more standout games. Yeah, I think this is a bit of a one-off. Like Johnny said, these guys will probably end up somewhere close to each other in the table, whether it's sort of pretty around the middle kind of area. So if these guys, Epsilon have lost their head-to-head with them essentially already, so that's going to be a big loss. But I think this is probably going to be the closest game of today.
And Johnny Boy, our next match is Endpoint Reason. Can we see a 5-4 there?
I think we could. Honestly, we could. If Endpoint let loose, because Endpoint, sometimes they just get a 1 or 2 goal lead and then they're very, very happy sitting back and just letting the other team come at them and they try to deflect everything. But if they're behind and then they have to fight with Reason for that lead, that's where I could see a high scoring game. If Reason are just, you know, edging ahead again and again, and Endpoint are playing catch up.
Beautiful. Well, listen, whatever happens, Endpoint versus Reason, it is going to be a beauty. Hopefully, Johnny Boy's prediction there will be a 5-4. Hopefully, it could happen, and Stumpy as well, but it'd be great action. Don't go anywhere, because when we come back after the break, we'll have all of the action for you.